Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a cook with me video, and we are going to do a healthy, gluten-free, dairy-free banana bread. I'm so excited. I've never made this before, so I can't tell you it's gonna turn out amazing because it could honestly turn out terrible. I don't know. But the recipe looks amazing. I was listening to a podcast one time and they were talking about like the different stages of quarantine for like white girls. And white girls definitely had a banana bread stage in quarantine, and I definitely had a banana bread stage in quarantine. So trying to come up with like new videos to do and new ideas, I have been really like, I guess fascinated is the word, by like coming up with healthy versions of like my favorite foods. So we're gonna try to make a healthy version of banana bread. I got this recipe, I'll link it down below, from ifoodreal.com. And we are just going to get started, I think. First, you're gonna need super ripe bananas, like gross looking ripe bananas. And then you're gonna need 3 eggs, large. And then 1/4 cup of any sweetener. So I will probably do a mixture of this sugar-free maple syrup, I don't know how to say it. This, and then I also have honey. So I probably am just gonna do like a mixture of both because I'm extra. And 1/4 cup of any mild oil or melted butter. So I'm going to be using coconut oil. I'm just gonna melt some of that down. Teaspoon of vanilla extract, teaspoon cinnamon, teaspoon baking soda and baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 3 cups of star of the show kind of almond flour. Let's set our oven, preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Also, you're going to need, it says a 9x5 loaf pan. I have no idea what size this is, but it's what I'm gonna use. And it says line it with parchment paper, but I also don't have parchment paper, so I'm gonna use tin foil. That is what our pan looks like. Just line it a little bit with some foil. I mean, you should have parchment paper, but I do not have parchment paper right now. So I'm just gonna use this aluminum foil, works just the same. Also, be sure to give your pan a spray. Just a little spray. Okay, we're ready to get started. Alrighty, got my masher. I had to search for that for a little bit. So you're just going to peel your bananas and just stick them in the bowl. Take off any parts that look like really yucky. Now we mash. I don't like mine to be chunky. Like, I like it to be as smooth as possible, so I'm gonna mash it up as much as I possibly can so that I get most of the chunks out. Okay, so we have our banana in there, nice and mashed, looking disgusting at this stage. Okay, now for the eggs. Like I said, we're gonna add 3. Okay, now we're gonna add the sweetener, 1/4 cup of honey. I'm gonna add a little bit of the sugar-free maple syrup. Just cause like, I know the sugar-free maple syrup isn't the best, like it's super, you know, processed and stuff like that. So I don't wanna use too much of that, but it is sugar-free, so I'm just trying to be a little bit better. So I filled the honey like over halfway in my little 1/4 measuring cup. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of this to make it full. So we have our sweetener, we have our eggs. Now we're gonna add our oil, and we need 1/4 cup of coconut oil. You can use any mild oil, it said. Like coconut oil, I would use like avocado oil. You can use vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever. This is just a little bit of a healthier route in my opinion. So I'm gonna take a little bit of our coconut oil and put it in my little glass jar so that I can put it in the microwave. Just gonna give that a good stir to get like all the clumps out. And then I'm gonna transfer that to our 1/4 cup to be sure that I'm getting that amount. Ooh, perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna add our things like vanilla and cinnamon. We're gonna need a teaspoon of vanilla. That was a 1/4 teaspoon. Don't be silly like me. Okay, and then we're also gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon. You don't have to add cinnamon. I know some people like hate the taste of it and things, but I love it. So I will definitely be adding some of that. Ooh. And then we're gonna do a teaspoon of baking soda and also a teaspoon of baking soda and baking powder. I don't know why it calls for both. That still kind of confuses me sometimes, like why both, but, or like what's the difference? I'm not a big baker, as you can probably tell. We're next gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You don't have to measure this, but like literally when I tell you that I am terrible at baking and have to follow directions precisely, I mean it. Okay, and our last ingredient is the almond flour. So we need 3 cups of almond flour. And then we're done, so 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups. Alrighty. Now it says mix with a spatula. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is what we're looking like. Everything's all in there. So we're gonna stir. It says gently fold everything together. So you don't wanna be like, you know, crazy, like you don't wanna be using an electronic mixer for this. Just wanna be kind of gentle. Fold everything in. This next part is very optional, but it's what I'm gonna do. And that is add a little bit of chocolate chips. There are a lot healthier chocolate chips than these, but this is just what we have, so that's what I'm gonna use. These are just the Nestle Toll House Milk Chocolate Chips. 100% real chocolate. Thank God. I'm not gonna be adding a lot of these. I just want like a little bit sprinkled like throughout for like a treat every once in a while. And then I'm just going to mix that up again using my spatula.
This actually like turned out good. I'm gonna make some crust myself.
We're gonna pour it into our baking pan. That is what our batter is looking like. She looks really good. Pour it into our baking dish, or loaf pan as they call it. Scrape down the sides. Make sure you get everything in there. And it looks so good. Alrighty, that's what she looks like. And she's about to go into the oven. She goes in the oven at 350 degrees for 50 minutes. And so I will see you guys then. Stuck a little bit, but that is okay. She's still intact for the most part. Now for the taste test. Look at that. It looks delicious. I'm nervous, okay. It's good. You can barely even tell that like it's used with gluten-free flour. You can tell a little bit like with the texture, but the taste is on point. Pat myself on the back. And she's just gonna chill on her counter until people eat her. Yum. All right, you guys, that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you decide to make this recipe, let me know how it goes. Let me know more videos that you want to see. I don't know what's coming next, but we're gonna find out together. I hope that you enjoyed, like I said. I hope you like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. And be sure to follow me on my Instagram. It is at emily.wick with 2 Ks. And yeah, that's where I post all my fitness content and stuff like that. So yeah, that's about it. And I will see you guys in the next one.